This right here is the best and most expensive shop upgrade that I've made so far. Let me show you around. So the upgrade we're going to be talking about today is indeed the electrical system in the garage. I want to give you a little bit of background just to explain why I've done this. So the entire garage was wired to a shared 15 amp circuit with our living room. So for me, running a table saw, dust collector, miter saw, and dust extractor, other power tools, I was flipping breakers all the time when I didn't remember to run an extension cord into the kitchen, which wasn't always the most convenient for any of us. But when I'd flip a breaker, the TV would go off, the Apple TV would reset, certain clocks would reset. So it wasn't the best family situation either. So after 9 years of living in this house, we have finally upgraded the entire electrical system in here. And my plans when I went down the path of doing this were pretty basic. So just on the far side of the garage there and in the basement is our main 100 amp panel for the house. So my thinking was, okay, you know what? Maybe we could run a 30 or even 60 amp sub panel into the garage, and we could kind of wire the garage nicely, have pretty good balance, be able to run a couple tools at a time, be ready for an electric vehicle if we go that route down in the future. Talking to our electrician, he had an entirely different idea that was so much better. So his thinking was, well, let's upgrade your entire house to 200 amp service. So I'm in Southern Ontario in London. So London Hydro was able to clip the cord, run 200 amp service here. And Corey, electrician from Legacy Electrical, which was awesome. So if you're in London, definitely look him up. The idea was to put a 200 amp panel in the garage and then run the 100 amp panel in the house as a sub panel. So not only did that save a lot of money because the wiring was already there to the sub panel from the main house disconnect, which was right here, it was also going to give us so much flexibility in the garage. And what you'll see here is that this breaker right here, this 100 amp breaker, is for the entire rest of the house. Everything else that's wired here is for the garage. So not only does the garage have as much power as I need it to have, there's also future expansion, electric vehicle opportunities, and that sort of thing. So I'm absolutely thrilled with this setup. And I'm going to walk you through kind of the layout that I ended up doing. And I wanted to kind of do a bit of a mirror on both sides, knowing that I don't know what tools I'm going to have in the future. My shop has changed a lot. And I will have an upcoming shop tour, as a lot of the shop has been changing since my last one earlier this year. But right here we have our main 200 amp panel with a lot of expansion. I did want to have an electrical outlet drop there for the compressor, really convenient to do that. And I'm going to go handheld for the rest to show you what we've been doing, as well as highlight one of my favorite features that's going to give me a lot more time in the shop. So just to the right of the panel, we have old electrical outlets down there, but then we have new ones here. It's so nice with conduit in here. So we were just going to run shielded cable, but in talking to Corey, he thought that conduit would be best, and especially as how it shows up on video and that sort of thing. So we do have those right there. So when I am hooking something up to the cars outside or doing any sort of vacuuming, nice to have those. And then we also, kind of on the essence of mirroring it, we also have 4 outlets over there, as well as an outlet installed on the porch, which was one of my wife's asks and something that I am so glad that we've done. Now let's move back to the main wall over here. And you'll see that there is conduit running down the side. And I'm really happy with this setup. And I worked with the electrician to really kind of plan out the height of these, because I didn't want it to interfere with my MFT and material and that sort of thing. But we have 20 amp, 120 volt circuits here, which is awesome. We also ran a 240 volt NEMA 6-15. So that for some future tool expansions, and we can also change that out. So if I don't end up using something that is going to be NEMA 6-15, then we can just change those out to any other 240 volt outlet. And then we also ran one more 20 amp circuit down here. And in the essence of mirroring, you can see that we actually did very similar over here. So we have the same 240 volt outlets there and 20 amp outlets over here. So, and the cool thing here is that this is about 50 inches off the ground, because I store my sheet goods over here. So it's something that, yeah, just kind of interesting that like I went with different heights on both sides, but it's to fit what I do in the shop. And we have lighting in here on a 3-way switch, which is awesome. We also have some exterior lights on those and just moving around over here. This is one of it. I know it sounds funny, but having the lights on a switch, whereas before I'd have to come out and pull the little cords on all 4 of my LEDs, this is just so nice. And I'll show you how that was wired up. Outlet, just one that was there before as well. And then we also have a couple of switches that were replaced over there, as well as an outlet behind the TV. So that's all fine and grand, but one of the best additions to the shop has been this heater. So this is a comfort zone heater. This is 240 volt direct wire. It is up to a 6,000 watt heater, which for my little 12 by 20 garage shop is going to be far too intense. It does have a thermostat on it, and I can change the wattage. I can toggle between 3,000, 4,500, and 6,000 watts. So I do have a lot of flexibility with this. So it is a forced fan or forced air via fan behind it, but I am absolutely thrilled about that. It works great. It does have a remote because it is pretty high up there, but I am so happy about that because that's going to allow me to use my shop in like December, January, February here in Southern Ontario. So now back to this light switch and kind of how it works. So the cool thing that Corey and I worked through was we did 4 outlets in the rafters that are all connected to that 3-way switch. So you can see one there, one there, even one there, and one all the way back here. So it's awesome to basically have 8 usable outlets that are all wired to the 3-way switch in here. And the last electrical thing to show is just that there is an always-on outlet up there for things like the garage door opener. So thanks for joining me on that quick tour around the shop where I showcase kind of the most exciting shop upgrade that I've had, because it's going to give me so much more freedom to be out here in cold weather, freedom to plug in tools without the fear of flipping a breaker. And if for some reason I did flip a breaker, it's right there, so I can just go and turn it back on. So I am so happy with this upgrade, and there are a couple of things that I'll want to further improve from an electrical standpoint. One is I'm going to put labels on everything just so that I know what everything does. I mean, I do know in my head right now, but in 3 months I may not. So I'm going to put some nice labels on both the electrical panel as well as each of the switches and outlets. The other thing is the shop lighting. So I do have 4 kind of like relatively inexpensive, but LED lights are inexpensive, but these are shop lights that I've had in here for almost 9 years now that were just all wired to an extension cord. And yeah, they're okay, but the lighting in here could be better, especially as I work in here in the winter. And even when the garage doors open in the nicer weather like it is now, lighting's just not great, but now I have so much more flexibility to plug things in and have them wired to a switch. So if you have any recommendations on shop lighting and what I should be looking for, knowing that I both work in here on projects, but I also film quite a bit. So there are kind of a number of factors that I want to consider there. So the lighting is one, the labeling is another, and also potentially to get the EV plug if we do end up going that route down the road. So that's it for the electrical in here. I am so happy that this is done. As far as overall cost, I know that you're probably wondering, so I'm not going to give you a detailed breakdown, but I would say that we did have a few other things done in the house. But as far as the 200 amp panel, the installation, the wiring in here, so it was about 3 days of work. So it was just under $5,000 Canadian. So I am very happy with the overall cost. It was something that we were preparing for quite a while. And just the freedom that this is going to give me is so well worth it. So thanks for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below what your electrical situation if it's spaghetti of electrical extension cords, just like it was for me before, which I've given a lot to neighbors and that sort of thing. So it's been nice to be able to do that. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on electrical. If you have any other ideas for me, and I will have an upcoming shop tour in probably a month or so once I get a few other things done in the shop. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video soon.